mind is a weapon fantasy football show.
What is good, everybody? Welcome. Teddy, I see you in there already. Week 12 recap show is here. We're going to have no Big Draft Energy today. He's feeling under the weather. I'm going to be going over each game, where we hit, where we missed, and we're also going to look at a couple pick-ems that we like for tonight. And we're going to build a big card. Big Draft Energy has already sent me his card as well. I'll be showing that card here on stream at the end here, guys. Teddy, big matchup for you tonight, bro. Oh my Lanta. It is going to come down to Lamar Jackson versus Justin Herbert, bro. That is going to be a crazy thing to watch tonight. Now, I'm going to pull up some of these right here. I'm going to go back. We're going to look at the Brown Steelers we covered. We're going to look at the Bears game here to start with here first. Sam Darnold absolutely balled out way more than I thought. I did not see him doing that against them at all. Riley, how we doing? Kicker versus kicker for the win this week. Dicker versus Tucker with a 4-point lead. Oh, my God. That's going to be close, bro. I like both the kicker points tonight and the cards, but I'll get to that on the pick-ems when I get there. Lamar Jackson, dude, I hope Lamar outscores him. We need him to lose, honestly, to be real. I don't want him in the playoffs with that roster he has. Dude, Caleb Williams looked really good in this game. I liked DJ Moore. That was an absolute hit. I missed on Aaron Jones for sure. I did not see 22 carries after last week. Justin Jefferson, I don't know what is going on with Justin Jefferson right now. This is unbelievable. They scored 30 points, and the guy only had 2 catches for 27 yards. That was an aberration to me. TJ Hawkinson balled out. Jordan Addison balled out. Keenan Allen saw 15 targets, which was absolutely bonkers. Romo Dunze with 10 targets again. DJ Moore had a monster game here. I liked the Swift under the rushing. That was a hit. And I liked Roschon Johnson for a touchdown. That was another hit there as well. So if you have the waiver wire right now and you haven't checked out the video, you should be trying to pick up Roschon Johnson if he's available. He's only owned in like 30% of leagues, which is crazy. And they got the win in overtime after that crazy onside kick. Man, I can't believe that even happened. Moving on to the Lions game, I picked the Lions to cover. They covered on the Colts. Nice hit there. When I'm looking at this game here, though, Jared Goff, not a good game here again. Jahmyr Gibbs absolutely balled out. David Montgomery got hurt at the end of the third quarter there, like halfway through the third quarter. That killed him. I had Anthony Richardson as a start. He absolutely did not even hit the passing. He did not play great. He did get a lot of rushing, though, 10 carries for 61. I like to sit Jonathan Taylor. That was a monster call there as well. Jonathan Taylor had a bad game. Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra was kind of game scripted bad against them. They kind of pounded the run with Jahmyr Gibbs after they got the lead. So you didn't see Laporta have a big game, which I had Laporta on a big game. That was off. I had Amon-Ra as the wide receiver 1 in the week. That was off. Jameson Williams sees 5 targets again. Michael Pittman I had as a sleeper play. That was nice there. What's up, Arturo? What to do with JJ? You got to hold JJ, man. He's top 2 wide receiver in the NFL. It's just bad weeks, man. You can't expect it to, can't really do anything at this point in the season. And I think that's it from the Colts game. Dude, the Dolphins and the Patriots revenge game for Jonnu Smith was absolutely lights out. Tua Tagovailoa, another baller game here again. The Dolphins are fighting for a playoff spot. They're 5-7 now, 2 games back. Devon A-Chain is one of the best running backs in football. People just seem to realize this in fantasy football. And Raheem Mostert's been phased out, which is a crazy $10 million contract they paid him to not even use him. I don't understand what's going on there with that either. And Ramondre Stevenson, guys, had a terrible, terrible game. 8 carries for 13 yards, 1.6 yards per carry. And I don't know what the hell happened with Ramondre Stevenson in this game. I can't explain it. It was a plus matchup across the board. Drake May didn't play bad. 1 TD, 1 pick, 222. Not bad there. Pop Douglas had a good game for a decent flex play, and really no one else. I mean, Austin Hooper got the touchdown, of course, which hurt Hunter Henry. Still, Hunter Henry's seeing 8 targets a game. He's still the security blanket there. Jonnu would be stealing Tyreek's targets. Dude, Jonnu, I've been pumping him up since week 1. It is finally here, man. I have a smash start this week as well. That was a nice hit for Jonnu. So I had him as my tight end 6, I believe, and I had him as a must start for a 20-point play. That was another hit. He's seeing so many targets, man. 11 targets. So I don't know if it's Tyreek's wrist or Tyreek Hill's wrist or what's going on, but he could be decoying out there and drawing doubles, which is opening it up for, Jonnu Smith, which is nice. So Tua, they're going to get Green Bay next week. It's going to be a monster game. If they fall to 5 and 8, it's going to be rough. So I think this is like must-win territory every game here for the Dolphins moving forward. And I don't think we're going to touch on anything else in this game. Dolphins defense played good. They got like 13 points in fantasy, nothing special. Buccaneers, man. Jesus, the Bucs-Giants game. The Giants are probably the worst team in football. It's official. This team is absolutely terrible. I can't even really watch their games right now. Tommy DeVito, I thought, would play better. He did not. Baker Mayfield is just a good quarterback no matter what. Mike Evans only saw six targets on his first game back. I missed on Bucky Irving big time. This guy is legit. I mean, 87 yards on the ground, 64 yards in the air. That little dip play from the goal line where he broke it was absolutely disgusting. BDE with a gifted membership. What is good, my guy? Shout out to you. Yeah, Bucky, he outplayed Chubb there. Monster call there. Tyrone Tracy. I had Tyrone Tracy as a smash start this week, and he absolutely did nothing. I mean, not 9 points isn't bad, but that's not what I expected against the Tampa run game. I expected Cade Otton to see more targets too. He had a very bad game, 1 catch for 30 yards, nothing special there. Daly McMillan wasn't involved like I thought either that he would be. And you're probably going to have a split the rest of the way, but I think Bucky's going to kind of lead the split there. And, dude, Malik Neighbors is toast. I mean, you saw his press conference after the game. There's a little video he shot out with the, calling him, and he's pissed. He is not happy with New York. I wouldn't be surprised if you start to see like a trade rumor from him or something where he wants to get out. It's really, really bad in New York right now. Aaron Jones, or give the membership to Chuz. Don't forget to Pollard, Aaron Jones, and Waddle calls. Those are nice as well. I missed that on the Dolphins game, but yeah, you called Waddle to hit on the 39 yards. He crushed that. Waddle had a monster game. I covered Aaron Jones too. I didn't see him getting 22 touches. That was absolutely bonkers. Charles says, I was laughed at fantasy YouTuber for suggesting Bucky over Kyren. Nice call, man. Bucky was a monster play. I thought Kyren was, dude, he got the touchdown early at the 1 yard line, and then it kind of phased him out. The game script went away from him. I didn't see the Eagles blowing him out. I took the Rams to win that game, but I'll get there here in a second. Yeah, I mean, really the only thing I like probably the rest of the way from the Giants is Tyrone Tracy. It's really, really ugly in New York right now. The Cowboys beat the Commanders. Cooper Rush with 2 TDs, 247. Rico Dowdle saw 20 touches in this game. I think more than that, actually. He saw 22 touches. He had 100 total yards or 98 total yards. Didn't find the end zone. He had a big game. CeeDee Lamb, I mean, is going to get peppered with targets, but I don't think he's ever really going to get his CeeDee Lamb ceiling game like with Cooper Rush at quarterback. I know they got to win. I know they got a good matchup on Thursday versus the Giants. You're going to start him on Thanksgiving, but it's probably going to be 13 targets with a touchdown upside and like 70, 80 yards a game. You're no longer going to really have that 20-point, CeeDee Lamb ceiling. Zeke Elliott's phased out. Trey Lance came in for a carry, which was weird. Schoonmaker was a sleeper play. He hit the nice touchdown there at the end. I started him in a couple leagues. That was big. Saved me and Scott Fish, advancing to round 2 of the playoffs. Terry McLaurin with the 86-yard bomb. That saved his day. Zach Ertz is just a solid fantasy football tight end weekly. It doesn't matter what the matchup is with him. Jaden Daniels was my QB1. Absolutely monster call there. He was the QB1 on the week so far. And Brian Robinson Jr. and Eckler both got hurt in the game. So it's going to be really interesting to see Jeremy McNichols or how it's going to look here moving into next week. But man, I had them both as smash. Like I was like, Brian Robinson's going to go off against the Cowboys. He did not go off at all. He got hurt, then came back, then got hurt again. 5 carries for 13 yards. That was terrible. Austin Eckler again. I said over the rushing, it was like 20. I don't know what it was, 20.5. He got 22. That was still ugly. I don't really like that one at all. But man, the Commanders, I don't think they're for real heading forward here for the playoffs. The Chiefs, DeAndre Hopkins back in the end zone. They come back with the Patrick Mahomes run at the end to win the game. I had Kareem Hunt to smash 77 yards, and he absolutely did not. The Panthers struggle versus the run heavy, and he did not get it done. I was mad there. I like the Panthers to cover the spread in this game, and they almost won the game, so that was a money hit there. Chuba Hubbard is still the guy. I mean, there was like 55 snaps for the Panthers. Jonathan Brooks only played 2 of them on his debut, where everyone was hyped about, so nothing really to see there. Maybe he's going to get more involved as the season goes on, but they paid Chuba to be the guy, and he's probably going to be the guy for the next couple of years here. Dude, Noah Gray was the tight end play of the week. He helped me in best ball a lot. Oh, dude, B-Rob screwed so bad, bro. That was ugly game, man. The injury was terrible. David Moore. This was an interesting thing here. David Moore, dude, saw 10 freaking targets in this game. Like, no one I even talked to even thought about David Moore. 81 yards receiving when you had Leggett and Adam Thielen. And Jatavion Sanders was my sleeper play. He popped his, over his projection. He was going to have a big day till he took that nasty hit, neck injury. Hope he's good there. The hospital looks like he's going to be fine. He was back at the facility today, so looks like he'll be back out there as the rookie. Xavier Worthy, back to Xavier Worthy. 4 catches, 46 yards. He's kind of a home run hitter, boomer bust weekly. DeAndre Hopkins only saw 6 targets, but he got the touchdown to save his day. That was nice there. And Patrick Mahomes had a big fantasy day with 28 points. So Patrick Mahomes had a big game. Everyone has a big game against the Panthers. That's kind of expected. I had him as a must start. And man, I thought Xavier Leggett would be more involved. He popped over his yards, though. Disco called that one 32 yards. That was a nice hit there. And I think the Panthers are gonna. I think Bryce Young is starting to make a little comeback here. I'm not fully out on Bryce Young yet after he's looked since he's had his little benching here. So that's kind of a good sign for the Panthers. Moving on to the Titans, Texans. My guy, Will Levis, is absolutely balling for the past 3 games. I've been saying he's going to win fantasy football championships down the stretch, and people are going to be scared to start him. He's probably a 20-point quarterback for the rest of the way. What's up, Fang? How we doing? I did a miracle. Jackson and Dobbins to score less than 30. I don't like Dobbins that much versus the Ravens run D. He might get more done in the passing game. I mean, the Ravens only allow like 55 yards rushing, but Lamar Jackson's scary, man. He could drop 40 any night. I'm praying for you. That's going to be hella close, bro. I think it's going to be really close, actually. Dude, CJ Stroud is a struggle bus right now in fantasy football. I mean, he got 247 yards, 2 TDs, 2 picks. I liked Mixon for the under. He didn't even get close. He only had 22 yards on 14 carries. And the Titans' run D was for real. They didn't even have Snead out there, and they still played pretty good. Held Nico Collins under 100. Tank Dell had 72. He was a nice play. And they both hit longs. So they did hit, the long on 56, long on 39. Joe Mixon had a long of 20 as well. Dalton Schultz is just never a fantasy football player that I ever want to start or think about starting ever with him. And then you look at the Titans side, Calvin Ridley. I keep saying you got to keep starting Calvin Ridley. The volume is too good. He's a 30% target share, which is top 5 in the NFL. And he's just going to keep getting fed for the rest of the season. Westbrook Akine with another touchdown. This guy has 6 touchdowns now on the season, which is bonkers. Tony Pollard, shout out to Big Draft Energy on that one. He nailed that call. Tony Pollard went absolutely bonkers, even in a tough matchup. When Tyjae Spears is out, you can start Tony Pollard regardless. What's up, Brad? Is DJ Moore back-to-back game of double points? Yeah, since they fired Waldron, the Bears offense has looked better. They just played 2 playoff teams back-to-back and almost won. So, I mean, overtime in one, block field goal in the other one. So they're starting to figure it out. Caleb Williams looks good, man. He looked really good last week. I cannot lie. They just got to fix, a couple of head coaching things to get Ben Johnson in there from Detroit, and they'll be fine. Onto the side, Will Levis with 8 carries again. You got to like that. Nothing really else to talk about. Chigakonkwo popped a 70-yarder. That was unheard of for him. I'm not going to get excited about that one. But I had the Texans money line on that one. That was not right there. Titans, I can't believe they won that game. Bo Nix, moving on to the Raiders Broncos game. Bo Nix, this guy is rookie of the year, man. Just light it up. It's unbelievable. 273, 2 TDs. He really only has Cortland Sutton. You got Vele, who Debro posted that tweet about Vele. That was absolute money. Vele in the slot, and everything about that tweet was right. And then you see Marvin Mims getting a little involved here finally, maybe Troy Franklin a little involved, but you're never really going to know who that wide receiver 2 hit is because you got Vele, you got Mims, you got Franklin, you got Lil Jordan Humphrey who gets targets. So it's really rough to look, outside of Cortland Sutton at what he's doing. 10 targets, 97, 2 more TDs, absolutely balled out this week. Michael Rip in the building. What's good, brother? Levis Richardson. I like Will Levis, bro. I've been saying this for like weeks now. Will Levis' schedule coming ahead, the playoff schedule. Nothing is better than the Tennessee Titans schedule. He's probably going to get 20 every single game down the stretch in the playoffs. But I don't know about the next game versus Washington. I'm a little nervous about that one. What's up, Brad? I'm up 117.92 to 88. I have Ladd. He has Lamar and Henry. You're up 40, and you have Ladd. I think you got it, bro. I don't think Henry's going to have his 30, point whatever. I got you right now. I'll shoot it to your ex. Hang on. If you guys have not subscribed to Michael Rip's YouTube or Twitter, make sure you check it out. He's going to come on right now. I'm going to shoot him a DM here. I think he's in Carmel on vacation. He's ready to hop in. The Broncos run game, man. Back to the Broncos run game of absolute nonsense. I mean, Javonte Williams with 8 carries for -2 yards. And then you see Jaleel McLaughlin lead them in yards. I don't understand what's going on with the Denver run game, but they're winning games. So you kind of still got to keep them as a flex appeal option going forward. It's just going to be impossible to start either one. Gardner Minshew's season is over. You're probably going to see Aiden O'Connell in here. I can't believe Shane McCormick was getting carries over Dylan Labe. Amir Abdullah had a good day. He had the touchdown through the air. 5 receptions, 37 yards, 8 carries, 28 yards. The Raiders are shambles. But I didn't think Jacoby Myers would have a big day there. So what's good, brother?
What's going on, Sleaze?
How we doing? How we doing?
Hey, man, we're doing well. I'm here to be the first one. I don't know if anyone else was on the stream yet, but I got to be the first one to congratulate you on your playoff wild card round 1 W. Moving on.
We are both moving on to round 2, bro. Let's go.
Hey, we got that. We got the good energy, man.
The kicker change to what's it called was nice. Will Lutz, he dropped 30.
He was big. Yeah.
That was a nice one there.
Yeah, dude. You got a squad, man. Even when some of the guys that didn't get it done, the rest of the guys stepped up.
How is I didn't see your roster. How did yours go?
Sleaze, by the way, can we just take a picture or a screenshot of this? Shout out to everyone watching Sleaze. Obviously, he's killing it, but that's a Denver Broncos 20 victory. That's a victory for the 7 dubs Broncos, baby.
They're gonna get the 8. I think you already cashed that, right?
Dude. Oh yeah, that's been cashed they're cashed, but forget 8. I think the Broncos are making the playoffs.
Oh, I do too. 7-5. You got 7-5, 7-5, then Miami 5-7, right?
Yeah, I don't think look, I'd love to be the one that came on here and said Miami's making the playoffs, but I'm not delusional. And Denver's good. Like, this is the thing. They're like a professional football team, which nowadays goes a long way in the NFL.
Peyton's got him running like the Saints, man. It's kind of crazy with the little Drew Brees kind of look for Knicks. Yeah. I mean, he's rookie of the year, right? It's locked in 100%.
Well, I don't want to say locked in because, look, we still got 5 weeks. And obviously, if you did this 5 weeks ago, we would have said Jaden was locked in. And so 5 weeks, we'll see. But, yeah, I think right now he's got to be the favorite, right?
I think, yeah, in Vegas, he's only 1 plus 110. You don't even really win much. So it's kind of a skew and lock.
Yeah.
Charles says, what's your thoughts on Taysom? Will he be viable? I mean, he's probably going to be viable, but every time for me when someone asks me about Taysom Hill, it's always a risk. I mean,
it's like playing roulette, right?
It's
a roulette. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't. But I mean, it's not going to be like it was last week or not this week, but last week where he was the top scorer in fantasy.
Right, but he can give you 20 or give you 4. So I mean,
yeah, but definitely don't temper your expectations because he put up an historic week last week. That's not going to happen again.
I agree. He says, Riley says, Cade Otton or Will Dissly the rest of the way. It's got to be Cade Otton, man. One bad game. I did not see him getting 1 reception for 30 yards, although the Giants are number 1 versus the tight end. So I kind of tempered my expectation on my video when I dropped about the rankings, but I don't think I'm going to trust Will Dissly over Cade Otton. What do you think?
No, I'm with you. I think Otton's put too much on tape this whole season for the last 6-7 weeks that I'm not going to let 1 week take me completely off of him.
Right. Yeah, I'm not doing that either. What's up, Joey? Says ethic questions as the commish. If I text my boy who's out to start a QB against his opponent, whom I need to
Yeah.
lose, is this wrong in your knowledgeable eyes? I do that all the time, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I do that all the time. Like my friends, they know I'm a content creator. They know I do fantasy football, and I'll shoot them a text on the side like, "You should start this guy over this guy," and then it hits. And if I want, and I'll only tell them that really if I want the guy to lose they're playing against. So I get your point here.
Dude,
That's the funny part.
You were texting me about start sit guys, and I'm like, I need to text you. So
Dude, Shoemaker hit, by the way, 1750.
I know.
He was over
I know.
1 point over Farmer, so that was nice. Josh Downs went down with the injury. That one hurt. He's going to be out next week. Let me see the RIP team here. So
Squad
you made it through. PJ Stroud.
Well, I think so.
Jonnu Smith, the revenge game, Cortland Sutton, Chuba. I think Neighbors is kind of done.
It's disappointing, man. I need him. I need Neighbors to show up. I mean,
you got Keenan Allen who popped on your bench. Tank Dell popped on the bench. Zach Ertz popped. Good. We're coming, baby. Round 2, bro. I can't wait for it to start it up already. I'm worried about week 14, though. I don't think I'm gonna make it through that week.
I'm just worried about tonight because I'm not through yet. I think I'm through.
It's at 171, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you got to imagine there's a lot of players tonight, right? I mean, from the Ravens and the Chargers, those are some numbers. So I mean, that number's going to move up. But I should be good. But
you still have Dobbins.
I've got Dobbins. I mean, ultimately, I'd like to get some more points because it's also the weekly average. Like I need to get that average up so it's not as hard because I'm already behind the 8 ball. I've got to score more just to even compete.
Right. That's true. Coming back to the Broncos game here, dude, I did not see Jacoby Myers getting 10 targets against Pat Surtain and 121. I cannot lie about that. That was an aberration I did not see coming.
15 targets. Wow. He led the team with 15 targets. That's wild.
That was bonkers.
Yeah.
What takes do you have away from the week here before I move on to the next game here? What was some of your hits, some of your misses? What did you like? What did you not like?
Well, you must have already hit on it. How could you not be in love with what Saquon did? Saquon, put it this way. Saquon, he basically averaged a first down on every carry, and he had 26 carries. That's insane. He literally averaged 9.8 yards a carry, and he had 26 carries. I've never seen anything like it.
I wanna show you something here. I want to see if you've seen this before. Okay. So this is a 14-man. This is my very expensive home league. Have you ever seen one man outscore an entire roster?
Wow. This is you had
Saquon Barkley dropped 49.2.
49.2.
He dropped 49.1 with a full. That wasn't a bad starting lineup. Besides his running backs are beat up, Mostert and Williams. But man,
that's beautiful. Can I tell you something? I love that roster you have right there because I'm in a first year dynasty league with a number of the content guys from X, Frank Amarante, Joe Arico, and I've got Saquon and Achan.
Oh, so, my guys. Yeah.
Dude, your guys. My running back. So this week was beautiful. I was just loving that. I mean, I doubled up the guy this week. But I loved it. So I'm right there with you. I saw you got your guys. I'm right there with Sleaze.
Do you have any nervous thoughts about if the Dolphins lose this going forward for Achan, Hill, Waddle? Anybody? They lose to Green Bay?
I think the Dolphins will lose because Tua's never won a game in cold weather like this. And until they do, I'm not going to pick them. But I don't have any nervous thoughts on Achan. I think Achan, as long as Tua's in, Achan is just, he's what you described in the preseason. He's basically RB1-2 right there, Achan.
You don't think they'll sit anybody if they fall out?
No, because one, even if they lose to the Packers, they're not technically out yet. So they're not going to sit anyone. And if anything, they're not sitting Achan. I mean, Hill is the guy that I would worry the most about because he's already talked about being injured. But there's no way that Achan was sitting. If anything, you're going to see, you'd see a little bit more Jalen Wright. But Achan's young. They got to get him. They got to get him going. So I love Achan rest of the season unless he picks up an injury. But you can't predict that.
Right. Okay.
But Hill would be the guy.
Scary.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be worried about Hill already. He's clearly not the player he was last season. He's already talked about the injuries multiple times, and it's just not happening the same way. So you can't have that reliability factor. And then obviously, if they fall out of contention, I think Tyreek is the guy that gets the surgery early and sort of misses. Yep. Yeah.
That's going to be the scary part if you own Tyreek Hill right now.
Yeah.
God, we got to move on to this ugly freaking. What did I say, man? I said 31. What did I say? 31-7? I was freaking close, man. 38-10. I knew my 49ers were going to get absolutely mollywopped. Brandon Allen, I didn't want to talk about this guy. He looked absolutely terrible. And we did. And Christian McCaffrey, I was like, they might limit this guy. They limited him, and the game script fell away. And this was terrible. I mean,
hey, what happened to Deebo Samuel?
Deebo Samuel looked terrible again. 1 catch, 21 yards. He had 2 plays called back for stupid flags, but I mean, still would have been like 6-7 points. I don't think looking forward, you think it's over
for the Niners?
So 5-6. I know everyone's
not.
No,
you're one. The division you're in. I mean, you're right there. You're 1 game back. So it's. I mean, it's not over until it's literally over. And then that someone's going to win that division at 9-8 or something. So you're in it. But
we go back to Buffalo this week.
Got to win that game.
Bye.
You got to win. Got to win in Buffalo. I mean, I still want to believe in the Niners, at least that they can compete with the better teams when they are. You know, Purdy's got to play, and McCaffrey's got to play better, and then Debo's got to show up. But
Purdy threw today at least with no pain or whatever they said, so it looks like he's going to be back for the game. I think we set everybody to save it for this game, and that's what it looks like.
This is a make or break one.
I feel like if we lose this one, it's gonna be really ugly, and we can't sell. We paid everybody, so it's not like you can just rebuild here and reboot and try and get a higher draft pick because we paid everybody too much freaking money. So I don't know how I'm pulling for it, but I think it's gonna be rough here.
It's a tough schedule.
Oh my god, it's terrible. We go to Chicago, I think the Rams, and then Detroit and Miami and someone.
Yeah, you got at Buffalo, Chicago, Rams, at Miami, Detroit, at Arizona. That's a tough schedule.
West Coast teams really struggle on early East Coast games too.
Yeah. No, I know. So it's a hell of a schedule, but hey, it's the NFL.
I mean, Kittle was back. He looked good. Romeo Doubs picked up a concussion. He was balling out. Tucker Kraft is now like a TD dependent guy to me. I don't know if you think the same thing there.
Who?
Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft. He's just become touchdown dependent.
He's touchdown dependent. I don't like
falling off.
He's fallen off a lot, Jaden Reed. And Tucker Kraft, I don't like starting him because you're just relying on the touchdown. It's either touchdown or bust, and you got it this week, but that just seems too shaky to me. The entire receiving core is a question mark. You just don't know who to start. This was my concern coming into the season with the receivers in Green Bay, and that's why I stuck on Dontavian Wicks because there was no cost essentially. So I just didn't want to pay up. You don't know. Take a flyer, but you still don't know. I mean, it's Romeo 1 week, it's Watson. I mean, it was Reed for a while. It's too unknown. The only thing you know is to start Josh Jacobs.
God, dude, I knew he was going to go bonkers on us. He absolutely destroyed us. 3 teeters, bro. The hat trick. God, he balled out. But do you have any interest now in a Jaden Reed play this week with Romeo Doubs with concussion going up against Miami?
Yeah, I do. The Miami defense is pretty good, especially when you think about the secondary with, Jaden Reed. If he's covered by Jalen Ramsey, that's going to be a heck of a matchup. But I like Jaden Reed. I think he's a hell of a football player. So, they got to get him more involved, especially if Romeo is out, short week, cold weather. I wouldn't have a problem starting him.
Shootout game, you think? Going over 50?
No.
Miami struggles that much in the cold, huh?
I mean, let's look back. To Miami in the cold. I mean, Tua has literally never won in the cold. And as much as you want to be like, oh, this is the time, I'm not jumping ahead of the curve. If they do it this time, I'll believe that he can do it in the future. But short week, tough place to play. Lambeau, Thanksgiving. I mean, the setup is not there, even though it's like a good spot to be like, oh, Miami could pull the upset. But I also think that LaFleur is a better coach than McDaniel, so I'd side with the Packers.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's gonna be really struggle in the cold. But man, I'm pulling for the Fins, man. I'm on your side here. We got to root together here for these Niners and Fins. We're on the bubble, man.
I, I, I would love for it to happen, but as a Miami Dolphins fan, trust me, I've been through this for 2 decades. I know how this works. They get you just see Miami does this thing. They kick you when you're down. Then right when you're about to be tapped out, then they bring you back to life just enough. So we have a Thursday night at Lambeau where you go, oh, Miami's still alive in this season all of a sudden. So they bring you back in just to crush you again.
So, for the Thanksgiving show, what time is that game? Is it early game?
No, that's the night game, Miami Green Bay.
Okay, so we have Bears. It's 9:30 a.m. my time. Okay, 1:30 Cowboys Packers. Okay, so I'm gonna do a show Thursday morning if you want to hop on there as well.
Okay.
For start sits and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Mike, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, look, the thank you to the NFL this year because they've allowed us to watch the morning game. Then you eat your turkey,
Yep.
and then you
Well,
go into a food. You take a food coma nap during the Giants Cowboys,
yep.
and
It's
then
perfect.
and then you wake up. You go back to eating and watching football. So I appreciate the NFL working with us this year.
It's perfect. I'm not the Giants are so hard to watch right now. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Mike says, took your advice on Sanders, was looking good. Are you talking about Jason Sanders? He had a decent game. I think he had 13 fantasy points. That wasn't bad. Thank you for the subscription, Taco. Welcome. He says Tua is 0-7 in games played at 40 degrees or less.
Yeah.
That is what Rip is saying. That is ugly.
That's right.
Oof.
And all you got to do is look back to the last cold weather game that Tua played in, the playoff game at Kansas City. Now, granted, that was a brutally cold game, but I mean, it just never looks good in the cold. And so until they do it, don't trust it.
Yeah, I want him to though, really bad.
Yeah.
Dude, so moving on to the Arizona-Seattle game. Seattle gets the big win. I thought this was going to be a freaking shootout game. Both these defenses struggle, and all of a sudden we have a game that's under 23 points. What did you have from any takeaways from the Arizona-Seattle game if you caught it?
It's the same thing that has all. Well, my biggest takeaway is the continued ascension of JSN. I mean,
Oh,
Jackson Smith, it's incredible.
yeah.
I mean, he led the team in targets, got in the end zone again, and now he's been stacking strong week after strong week, which gives you confidence that you should put him in, set it and forget it. And he's really developed nicely, and he's a player that I really liked coming into the season and has performed well. And then on the flip side, it's the Kyler Murray kind of roller coaster again, right? When you want to trust him, he
2 on,
kicks you
2
when you,
off.
yeah. So
I
tough.
mean, it's dude, when I looked at James Conner and I was watching this game, I had James Conner very high this week. He had 7 carries for 8 yards. In
Yeah.
a game that was a one possession game almost the whole time. And
Yeah.
Seattle's run D was terrible. I couldn't believe that. Trey Benson leads them in rushing again back-to-back weeks, which is weird to me. Geno Smith's kind of a, just solid QB play every single week. It's not going to be a pop unless, he gets his rushing where he runs and beats my 49ers with a rushing touchdown.
I think the other takeaway I'd say is just that Seattle defense. I think McDonald's really got his stamp on that defense now, and they're really starting to play well. And so
With
I think
Mike,
you pay attention. Yeah.
yeah, they're coming around. I thought they were frauds though at the beginning because they played nobody, but I guess a division game. I mean, I still think that defense is not that good, but they're looking better. So is
Yeah.
Cardinals defense too. So I mean, they're
And
moving
then of
up as
course,
well.
as you were just hovering over, I mean, Trey McBride, that's his best game of the season. And I think we might see a couple more Trey McBride games down the stretch here. I mean, I'm bullish on Trey McBride. He didn't get in the end zone and he still had a hell of a game. So
Oh yeah, dude, he was my tight end 1 on the year, and he still has no touchdowns, and he's gonna be a top 3 tight end.
it's crazy.
Crazy.
It's a crazy season because these top guys, like we're gonna look back, and it's the thing. No matter literally, no matter who you had as top guys, you had to go through a struggle with them. I mean, whether it was McCaffrey, Tyreek injuries, or Lamb, or look at like Justin Jefferson this week, right? Like
Dude.
Justin Jefferson, literally non-existent in the game, and yet he's like wide receiver 4, 3 coming into the week. And so no matter who you have, whether it's Brees, whether it's Bijan, I mean, like no matter what player, you talk about Trey at tight end, no matter who you have to be able to withstand those weeks where it doesn't go your way and show some patience and still be able to keep it moving.
Any worry? Justin Jefferson 5 games without a touchdown?
Yeah, it's concerning because he's on one of my teams, and I'm really needing him to not do that. But no, I don't think so. I mean,
I mean, they're
I
nine
think
and two. I mean,
and here's the thing I want to say. I said this this morning on the morning after football about this. You know what's interesting? Not only are the Vikings 9-2, and it feels like they're being slept on a little on how good they've been, right? 9-2. People were talking maybe they were having a slump. Yet they're 9-2. And if you look at their matchup, when they lost to Detroit, they lost 31-29. If you flip that,
yeah,
all of a sudden Minnesota's 10-1 and Detroit's 9-2, and everyone's like Minnesota is just a home wrecker. So
right.
this is, I mean, this Viking squad, and now they've got they've got Hawkinson rolling. I mean, it's a good team. It's a good team.
They're going to be scary. I really believe
Yeah.
with the defense and the way they blitz, they're going to be scary.
Yeah.
Fang says it's supposed to be 30 degrees and Lambeau's going to be freezing, bro. Fantasy Dog with the gifted membership, absolute goat. Thank you for the number 9 like. 5 gifted from Mike as well. Thank you guys. Means the world. Fantasy Dog says thank you, Mike. And I don't have any other takeaways from that game except I really missed on this game. I thought it was going to be a high scoring game. I thought these defenses would struggle, and man, it was low scoring as it gets. It was absolutely atrocious. So I didn't see that coming there. Moving on to the last game here, and then I want to get to some Pick-Ems. Dude, Saquon Barkley was the best pick in fantasy football. This guy is out of his freaking mind right now. 255 yards. And if he gets past that first level with the Eagles offensive line, it's almost like he's going to break it every time. I don't know any other running back I've seen that can do what he's doing right now. You think he's going to get MVP as a running back?
Do I think he's gonna right? No, I would like him to,
Is it
but I don't.
possible?
It's possible, absolutely.
Does he have to
And
get a 2,000 mark total yards to get it?
I think he's going to get 2,000 yards. This guy is unbelievable. I mean, are we not? I mean, we're witnessing it week in, week out. This guy's unbelievable.
It's
But
crazy.
yeah, but he was uber talented coming into the league. He just was, now he's healthy. He's playing behind a great offensive line. He's playing with a great cast of players around him, talent wise, and he's rolling. I mean, the thing is, you see him he's getting stronger as the game goes on, which is really where he really kills you, right? Because you're worn out, and yet there's Saquon just getting better and better.
Just still chugging, bro. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I think that Saquon right now, and I talked about this right now, I'd put him in the top 3 MVP. I think it's clearly Josh Allen is in the lead. And then you have, we'll have to see what Lamar does tonight on Monday Night Football, but I think Saquon is right there with those two. And we'll have to see how the next few weeks go. But if Saquon continues at some level of pace, he's obviously not putting up 255 yards, rushing 300 plus total yards a game, but he's got to be in consideration. And I frankly hate the idea that it's only an MVP QB award. That makes no sense. Like, we need to have other players be able to win most valuable player. And he's certainly been most valuable Philadelphia Eagle MVP.
He's out of his freaking mind. My other takeaways from this game, I mean, Jalen Hurts, not a lot of passing yards. I really didn't expect a lot of passing yards in this game. AJ Brown pops 100 again. I mean, he's always going to be a must-start wide receiver every time. I had Dallas Goedert a lot higher. I thought that the Rams really struggled versus the tight end after watching Jonnu Smith just destroy them. And Dallas Goedert was just it was all Saquon, man. It was just an afterthought for every single player but AJ and Saquon in that game. On the Rams side, Stafford, garbage time, saved his day. Cooper Kupp, garbage time, saved his day. Kyren Williams, another steady Kyren Williams game. Puka Nacua, I tried to take the under on yards like an idiot. Missed that. Disco hit on that. And I think the Rams are still going to be fighting, but I don't think they're a real contender. You got any takeaways from the Rams side there?
Well, I think the Rams are still. I think they're a little bit more of a contender than you said, only because look, they're also 5-6 in the same division with you as a 49ers fan, and they have just as good a chance. And losing to the Eagles is not something to. I mean, you want to win, but it makes sense because it's a good team. What does the Rams schedule look? I'm trying to look at the Rams schedule quickly. I think they're still a contender though. When you have Puka and you have Cooper and you have Kyren Williams and you got Sean McVay, I think you still have a shot. Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
They go at New Orleans, Buffalo, at the Niners, at the Jets, Arizona, Seattle. Close out 3 of 4 with the division.
Yeah. So you know what? I mean, really, it comes down to that. I think that Niners game is the game right there. The Rams Niners game could be the game because, yeah, like I think that the Jets they could schedule's manageable. I mean, obviously, I think everyone in this division is losing a couple more times. So if they can get that Niners Rams game, be the team that could get the division because unless it's going to be Seattle. I don't know. I mean, this is a wild division, the West.
If you had to pick one, who are you taking to take this division right now? If you had to pick it right now.
Yeah, if I had to pick it right now, I
Mhm.
think I would pick. I think I'd take the Seahawks.
You're gonna take the Seahawks. I'm a little
think
worried
s-
about the Seahawks too. Jay season, man. He looks lights out. Um.
Well,
Okay.
here's why. Can I tell you why quickly?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Fire away.
look at you look at their schedule. They're going to go to New York. I think they can. I think I saw the spread was 1. I love Seattle going into New York next week, getting that game, and then they get the Cardinals again. It's really recent since this week where they played the Cards, and then ultimately they have 2 tough ones where they get the Packers and the Vikings, but they get them in Seattle, and we know one thing: Seattle at home is a different animal with that 12th man. Like that's a different beast.
They are. Yeah.
So I like their chances.
I do too. I think their schedule is easier than the rest because the rest have Buffalo, and they
Yeah,
don't.
exactly.
So that's the tough part there.
Yeah.
20th all time fantasy dog says in total yards per game. Just that was fucking crazy, bro. I did just watching Saquon. I'd rather watch him play than just give him the ball than watch the whole New York Giants game by itself. Fang says, what are your thoughts on the 5 running backs who switched this year? They're all balling out on their new teams. The NFL is finding out that running backs are more important than they thought, man. Every team that traded them is in shambles, and every team that traded for him is looking at a playoff berth. It's absolutely insane how that worked out. I mean, look at Josh Jacobs, look at Saquon, Packers fighting, Eagles fighting, Giants done, Raiders done. So, I mean, it's kind of, and I think I missed one more running back that was traded, but Derrick Henry and the Titans done, Ravens playoff, right? So,
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones, I guess, yeah, Packers picked up one though in the process. So, I mean, kind of 50-50 on that. But okay, so I got about 10 minutes. Moving on to the pick'em card here. I got to lock in Discos real quick here. He sent me one that I want to put on screen here. Do you like any of the pick'ems tonight? And what would you take if there were some, Rip?
Honestly, I don't have a good feel on tonight. Pick 'em. I didn't look through the details for this, so
Okay,
I
so
can't be of help.
he wants the longest rush. We're going with both kicker points here. He wants kicker over, kicker over.
I mean,
Herbert's
going. It's
passing TDs.
Trusting Tucker these days is tough.
Yeah, I know. He's, oh, dude. I don't know. He can't kick past 50 anymore, huh? Father time caught up.
I mean, geez, it's something going on there. Who do you think's going to win tonight?
I'm taking the Chargers and the points.
I'm with you. I'm with you on the Chargers and the points. I mean, it's Jim Harbaugh. It's a Jim Harbaugh effect, literally.
The Jim Harbaugh Bowl.
Well, it's
Honestly,
the
it could be a
Harbaugh
defensive
Bowl.
matchup. Like
I
that's
was
what scares me too.
I think if I was going to do anything, I would do Chargers on the under.
Chargers in the under. I
Yeah,
like that.
I do
Missing
think
the
because
one.
I think it is going to be a bit more defensive the matchup.
Where's Zay? Oh, 60. Okay. And what do I have? 10. Let's go for 1,000 banger. All right, guys. So if we hit this card, I will drop give away $100 to someone on stream. If you guys want to take a picture of it, whatever you want. This is Big Draft Energy's card here as well. I'm just gonna say if you had to pick one, and we'll do one each team here. I want to put a $10 bet on one of our locks each in this game. So for me, mine, and I can switch it up. Mine is Justin Herbert over the passing at 261. What do you like? If there's any pickups from the Ravens side, or you can take Chargers if you want, and I'll switch it either way. What would be your
You,
absolute lock for the Ravens side?
I don't know what the numbers are. I got to see it on.
Okay,
Pull
so
it up.
Derrick Henry, 84.5 rushing.
Okay.
Gus Edwards, 24. We gotta go. It's got to be a Raven. So Justice Hill receiving is 17.5. I kind of interested in that one. Zay is at 59 yards receiving. Isaiah Likely is at 25.5. Mark Andrews at 31.5. Lamar Jackson's passing is 235. Rushing is 47. 287.5 for pass plus rush.
I like the Isaiah Likely over.
On 25.5?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I
So
like.
if you had to pick a Charger, what would you like on the Charger side?
Run back on what's Dobbins' number?
47.
Wow.
I
And then
know
you said Gus.
Ravens allow 50.
And what'd you say? Edwards was at 24?
24, 24.5.
I might like Gus Edwards, actually.
Over?
I think so. I mean, look at his last two games: 55 yards against the Titans, 27 against the Bengals. I think he's going to get enough carries, and I think they're going to try to run the ball more. And that number's low.
Like the Ravens only allow 52 yards rushing.
Yeah, I
But
got you.
Roquan Smith is out.
Exactly. Roquan is out, and I like the idea of Gus's number being half of that of Dobbins. So
Yeah, I don't want to touch Dobbins at 47.
yeah,
Okay.
that's why I think I would go Gus Bus.
All right, I'm going to lock that in. Gus, Isaiah Likely, and Herbert. That's it. I also did Justice Hill over 17.5, Quentin Johnson over 48.5, Palmer's longest, Herbert's passing, and Mark Andrews receiving as well. So I covered the entire board. You like Likely under for the yards, Fang? 25? That's one play, but yeah, it could be. I mean, he's kind of goes ghost in and out. So I got to head to Mom's. I got 4 minutes left. Anything else you want to fire in here? I got to go help with our Christmas stuff before this game here pops off. We're going to do dinner over there.
Nah, man,
anything else you got?
Nah, I got
Give me your score prediction. Chargers tonight. I'm going 30-27 Chargers.
I like Chargers 24, Ravens 20.
24-20 Chargers. All right.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I'll be live again Thursday morning on Thanksgiving for you guys. What's good, Jalmini? What's crack-a-lack-a-like? He says, Gus, light him up. He's going to go over 24 yards. I like it. If you guys have not checked out Michael Rip's YouTube, Twitter, everything like that, make sure you do. Drops great content. Thanks for hopping on me. You didn't have to at all. Amazing to have you. And shoot me a text about Thanksgiving morning if you want to hop on.
Will do, my man. Have a good one, man.
All right, guys. See ya.